Welcome back to the Patriots Wrap, a special Monday edition with Andy Gresh, coming off a huge Patriots win just over 24 hours ago. The sky was falling. The Patriots were in disarray. They'd lost the big Monday nighter, the report about Tom Brady, and then they played terrific, and everything is hunky-dory.
Right now, it's good. Yianni, here's what they've done. They've given us hope. They've showed us they've got some chutzpah, let's call it.
Okay.
And that there's a little life and a heartbeat to this team. I think they went out and gave us a nice little baseline for us to now react off of. They can go higher, and they're not going to blow everybody out, but you understand what I'm saying. They can become consistent and play at a certain level, or they can keep doing this and driving us crazy.
It's good to know they have that game in their resume.
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I was on the sidelines, and I even said this on the Patriots Radio Network. I was worried about what the response was going to be because I saw coaches just kind of meandering around a little bit. Normally in those situations, someone's hyped up. Somebody's got the wacko look in their face, and somebody's trying to set the tone and get them going. There was none of that. It was businesslike, and I was nervous, I admit. They came out first drive, shoved it down their throat, stuck with the run game, did a fantastic job of setting the tone.
And I was at Gillette Stadium last night, too. And how about the crowd chanting Brady throughout the night? Tom obviously was the big story coming into the game. He played well. He had the sneak on that first drive.
Yeah.
Kind of silenced his critics with all that was going on outside of the field. What did you make of Brady last night?
I thought he was fantastic. And the part that was really fantastic, because he missed a couple throws. It's going to happen. Moving guys around. You know what Tom was? He was the maestro once again. You know, remember the maestro in Seinfeld, Bob Cobb? Well, he was Bob Cobb last night. He was the maestro, moving guys around, making sure people get lined up. They put in Jordan Devy, and guess what? He lined up on the wrong freaking side, and he was a tight end. So what had to happen? Tom Brady had to look at him and go, "You're over there, dummy." And then they could run the play. That's the stuff that Tom Brady, to me, doesn't get enough credit for. His brain is still A1.
While we're on Brady, let's talk about that ESPN report. Chris Mortensen saying there's a disconnect with Brady and the coaching staff. Do you buy into that?
Look, I can understand why Tom Brady would be frustrated. Do I think there's a disconnect between him and the coaching staff? I don't know if I go that far because that means Brady's checked out on them and he's not going to listen to those guys. I think what you have is a quarterback who's searching for answers. He couldn't turn to the people who were in charge of finding those answers to help him out as quick as he's used to. So what did you get? You got a little defiance. And I got to be honest with you. I do think Brady back channels was kind of griping a little bit. And that's where some of this stuff came from. But at the end of the day, they settled on 5 guys up front. They put in the Stork. He was outstanding at center last night for the most part. It calmed everything down. Brady was able to operate. And this was the first time where I think, Yianni, we could look at all 11, and if you want to extend it to fullbacks and running backs, all 16 guys on offense finally were one unit, and they believed in each other. That might be the biggest thing to take away from this game.
And in the locker room last night, Rob Gronkowski was so pumped up, saying we needed to prove Tom Brady is still Tom Brady.
He took it personally, and I love that.
And a lot of guys in the locker room was saying that Brady's still their leader. It shows that everyone is still behind him.
Yeah, and look, they should be, because it's not like there are guys, it's not like Gronk's running down the seam going like this, throwing the hand up, and Brady's throwing the ball the other way. So they're seeing what I think a lot of people who understood how to watch the game were seeing. It wasn't any Calvin Johnson. You could have had great players on the outside. They wouldn't have been able to do a dadgum thing because they couldn't protect. So once the offensive line got going, everything started to fall into place. And in terms of Gronk, Yianni, Gronk's back. As soon as he dropped the shoulder on the pass that got Brady to 50,000, and you saw him drop the shoulder and take the hit, and I'll tell you the other one too, that second touchdown catch. Guys at his knee, he just basically sidesteps it. Fantastic. You know Gronk is now ready to be Gronk, and he played like 80% of the plays. That's massive.
Absolutely for the Patriots. All right, we're going to hear more from the Pats right after the break and then be back with Andy Gresh when the Patriots Wrap continues on Fox Providence. Back on the Patriots Wrap with Andy Gresh for another session. We talked on the previous session about the offensive line. How about Stephen Ridley, Shane Vereen, and the Pats' commitment to the run?
Well, it's two things going on here, Yianni. One is the obvious power back, and that's what you're getting with Stephen Ridley. And then you're getting a different kind of back in Vereen to where they run him inside a little bit. I think they're trying to diversify. If you noticed, You got to see Ridley bounce it outside every once in a while. You need to do that to keep people honest. And we saw a different kind of draw game out of with Vereen in there. It wasn't just shotgun 4 wide, 3rd and 20, let's hand it off and hope for the best. It was fullback in, 2 tight ends in, 3 wide receivers. They were running the draw out of different sets, and it was much more, if you look at Brady, much more deliberate before he puts the ball into the belly of Shane Vereen. So I think they're trying to diversify, and I think they're trying to get people to not key in so much on the style of run game with each back.
Okay. And Rob Gronkowski had a standout night. How about Tim Wright out of woodwork? I don't know where he came from.
Well, out of nowhere. I mean, look, he knows the offense now. And the zero set, and that's what it's called when both tight ends are on the field, the zero set, whether they spread them out or whatnot, it's back, and hopefully it's back in full effect. Now, Tim Wright only got about, I think it was like 22% of the plays, but still, when you have Gronkowski on the field and you can mix and match between whatever he's got left, and Tim Wright, now you're cooking with gas. Now you got something with those 2 tight ends to where you can spread them out, you can pack them in, you can mix and match. I mean, let's remember, they were running the traditional wham play where normally the tight end would earhole the down lineman, except they were doing it with the fullback. So they've altered the run game in many different ways, but the zero set and the 2 tights are very important moving forward.
Absolutely. Brings it back to the Gronk and Hernandez days. All right, let's talk some defense. Darrelle Revis had what appeared to be a breakout game. You've already said throughout the season he's played well. Some people have criticized him, but he had the #1 guy he keyed in on A.J. Green, forced a fumble, had an interception called back.
Sure.
Was that the Darrelle Revis the Pats paid for?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And look, when you have him play man-to-man on a guy like A.J. Green, Yianni, what you have is the ability to mix and match the rest of your defense. It takes pressures off your safeties. The reason you can have Pat Chung back there, who is solid, he's been okay this year, nothing great, nothing terrible, is because you have a Darrelle Revis on the field. Now, I will say, if Devin McCourty and the rib injury, if this is going to be a long period of time where he's going to be out, that is problematic for the Patriots, because if anybody did get beat over the top, they had him to kind of be that, he's Linus, he had the security blanket. So I don't, if it's rib cartilage, that's more problematic than a broken rib. So the McCourty injury is worth watching this week, but I think Revis has been fantastic. It's really funny. With some zone coverage mixed in, he gives up 3 for 30 to Dwayne Bowe. You look at the numbers at the end of the day for A.J. Green, and I know they're not on all Darrelle Revis, but you win, and now it's Revis was fantastic. So it's amazing. The win and the loss changes the perspective in which you look at the game.
And that Patriots win brought them to 3-2 tied atop the AFC East with the Buffalo Bills as they travel to Orchard Park on Sunday. It'll be a tough week for you with the Bills Mafia coming at you.
Bills Mafia is full of idiots. They're a bunch of people who go, they get 2 wins to start out, and it's, we're going to win the division. And they're 6-10 every year, and they're sitting at the Anchor Bar, drinking their beer and sucking chicken wings through their nose because there's nothing else to do up there. They're waiting for Terry Pagula to buy something else and bring it in, so they got some entertainment more than their hockey team.
And what's your matchup on the field?
Look, it's a difficult place to play. I mean, they got 80-year-old women up there mooning you when you're riding in on the bus, and I'm really not kidding. Zoe's told me that story a bunch of times, and you know, you got to watch your wallet when you're up there. So there are certain things you got to be aware of. Look, they get after it defensively. Here's the thing: is Buffalo going to try to attack the Patriots and say it's our time, or are they going to wait and try to go toe-to-toe with them back and forth? Do they take the fight to them, or do they sit back and maybe counterpunch a little bit? They got Uncle Rico playing quarterback now, and Kyle Orton. You see that mustache? He might as well stand there in the press conference and go, back in 83, I'll throw it a quarter mile. And you know what? He may need to throw it a quarter mile against this defense because they started to mix and match the defensive linemen pretty well. I think the Patriots are going to be better against the run moving forward. And last night, no Dante Hightower. I think you need Dante Hightower this week against Buffalo.
So that was a Napoleon Dynamite reference. This time around, we had the Seinfeld Maestro reference last time.
Sure,
right,
and anytime you rip Bills Mafia, just wait. What's your Twitter?
People yell at me that you bash the Bills.
Yes. You know what? We need mean tweets. What the hell? Thursday night, let's go through it. Bills Mafia. Send them in.
At Yianni, Kourakis, at Gresh and Zoe.
Yes,
follow us on
send them to me. I get them all the time. There's more fake Twitter accounts about me. Good Lord, my gut, my opinions, da-da-da. Whatever, pound sand, it's social media, you nerds. You love to be here.
All right, Gresh is back Wednesday and Thursday to talk more about the Bills. Until then, more from the Patriots Wrap after this.